Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Team Call. It is September 18th. Before we get into everything, as always, does anybody have any wins they want to announce? Anything with their business, anything with them? I know a lot of people finished Lift 4 last week. Or was it? Yeah, it was last week. Anybody? Anybody? No? All right. Okay. So just a reminder, I'm doing team prizes this month for anybody who hits Success Club or hits a 500 PV if you're in the team page. Again, it's uh, just this month. I mean, I could do it in the future. I might not. I don't do them every month. I used to do them kind of sporadically, and I don't like to do them every month because then it makes it kind of just like I only want to hit this so I can get a prize. And I want you guys to be moving your business anyway, and this is kind of just an added bonus. Okay, so there's a lot of announcements I have to make. I'm going to try to go through them as quickly as I can. A lot of them you guys have already heard. But number one, if you didn't hear, Pumpkin Shakeology has sold out. It's 100% sold out in the U.S., which is absolutely insane. I feel like because it sold out in less than 24 hours, because I think it sold out at like, I don't know, it sold out before noon today. I know that. So I think that's crazy. But it is going live in Canada on October 11th. So remember that there are people that may follow you, or, you know, if you've been a part of the business, you probably have some customers that are in Canada. Do not forget that that launch is going on. I know that we're always so focused on the US, but that is going to be happening in Canada. So let those people know. Make sure you still post about it. You have almost a whole nother month to use some Canadian hashtags, go through some Canadian hashtags, use the location tag on your picture, use the location tag on your Instagram story. Lots of opportunities to do that, so make sure that you're doing it. Number two, Shift Shop packs and bundles are launching on October 1st. So Shift Shop obviously is a program that we've already had, but since they're doing the new Proving Grounds, and Shift Shop came out right before we did all those bundles and like accessory packs. So Shift Shop has that. So it comes with the I don't know if I have mine with me. For those of you who maybe aren't a part of the team, I don't have them. I thought I had them. But they're just the little, I don't know what the hell they're called. They're like the little placekeepers. I don't know. They're like red and blue and yellow. If anybody knows the name of them, type in the chat box because for some reason I can't think of them. But it comes with all of those things. You can check out the FAQ 773 to learn more about it. But on October 22nd, the Proving Grounds are coming out. So if you are running, I know for us, we're just doing another round of, or a lot of the people in our group are doing another round of the 4. I'm personally starting PIO on Monday, and then I am doing a Shaun T themed program starting. The prep week will be October 29th, and then we'll actually start the Shaun T programs in November. But for anybody who maybe is going to be doing a workout program later on, this is a perfect opportunity for you to maybe do a Shift Shop themed challenge group. It's a really great program, and I think the fact that they're adding Proving Grounds, because that was honestly for me something that, and I'm always honest, and I talked about this on my Instagram, I liked Shift Shop, but the fact that there was 2 workouts in the week, you just went back and forth from speed and strength, and it was the same thing every other day. Obviously, in the next week, it was something different, but the fact that they're adding Proving Grounds is exciting, and they're adding, I think, like something about like 6, I don't know, there's like a bunch of new workouts or things that are attached to that. So just check out the FAQ if you want to learn more. Coaching Sneak Peek starts next week. Same as always, it's Tuesday to Wednesday. So make sure you're posting now, inviting now. Number 4, our team challenge group and 2B Mindset groups, as always, are you know, they are not in the same group, but they both start on the same date, which will be October 1st. So again, plan. And you guys should be already talking about it. I mean, I talk about it all month long. I make sure I have it. You know, I'm talking about it almost every other day in my Instagram story. And I have a decent amount of followers, guys. And when I talk about them on my Instagram story and I include like a link to swipe up, I sometimes get one person to swipe up, but I'm talking about it all the time. So over the course of time, eventually a lot of, not a lot, but a decent amount of people will fill it out. So if you're only talking about your October 1st group maybe once or twice in an entire month and then wondering why you might not be hitting Success Club while you still also need to be out there reaching out to people and getting to know people, it's accumulation of both. You have to be doing that. So make sure that it's just in the habit. For when you post a workout video, talk about your group. When you post about nutrition, talk about your group. There's so many opportunities for you to do that. And make sure you invite everybody that's in our clean eating group. If you're in it, that, you know, the one that we have going on, whether doing 3D Refresh or clean eating group, invite all of them to the challenge group. And anyone that has told you no, for maybe last month's group, invite them to the group. Also, again, I know I already said it, but the Shaun T themed group will be starting at the end of October, beginning of November. So I'm honestly, depending on where I'm at with FIO, probably I'm not going to do the second month. I'm just going to do as much as I can until I get up to that. And then I'll be doing a Shaun T program. But I'll talk about that more in the team page. Also, this is just a side note. I need more My Story videos. Each month as we do the Coach Sneak Peek, I need people who we have a list of my stories with a little picture of you and a little bio. I want to keep adding to that. So if you haven't recorded a story or posted it on YouTube, do it sometime this week. I would love to add more people. I think we only have 6 coaches in there, and our team is way bigger than 6 coaches. So that would be really helpful. Number 6, 2B Mindset certification course materials are out. So if you got the 2B Mindset certification, if you registered, you can access it. Check the FAQ 1081. I have not even looked at mine yet, so I didn't want to go too much into that, but just wanted to let you know today, the 18th, was when they were released. There's also a Team Beachbody apparel sale. I feel like these sales always go so under the radar. I just saw it. But there's 25% off a lot of coach apparels, so coach-related apparel items. It's only until September 30th. So, and I always talk about that when I talk to people because I love yoga pants and sports bras and things like that. A lot of people love them too, and letting them know, hey, if you're a coach, you get 25% off. Are you getting 25% off at Target or Lululemon or anything like that? No, but you can get a 25% discount being a coach. Plus, being a Beachbody coach, for maybe some new coaches who don't know, we as coaches get 10% off at Lululemon, Athleta, and I don't know if it's Fabletics, but I know it's definitely Lululemon and Athleta. All you have to do is show them your back office. Live instructors also, I think, get 20% off or 15, something like that. Also, this is huge, and a lot of you new coaches probably don't understand the magnitude of this announcement, and it's not happening until late spring, so that's still almost a half a year from now. But Beachbody.com is being removed. I spelled that wrong, but being removed, and they're only going to have TeamBeachbody.com. This is absolutely massive for our business, but only for those of you that are going to hit Success Club, because as you guys know, there's a lead program. If you're hitting Success Club, and only people who hit Success Club get it, when somebody calls in or they go to just the website and they buy Shakeology, or they buy something, online, and they call in and they buy it, they automatically get assigned a coach as long as they're buying through teambeachbody.com. For some reason, it's taken Beachbody this long to get rid of it. There's always been beachbody.com. So somebody can go to beachbody.com and buy, and it's not through a coach. They also have the ability to get a payment plan. So they could buy Shakeology on a payment plan, but they don't get a coach. And that was the downside. But so some people would come to me and be like, hey, I can buy this challenge pack with a payment plan and pay it over a few months, versus just having to pay up front with you. I want to do that. And my only argument was hey, you get me as your coach, which a lot of people would understand. But now they are taking away beachbody.com. So that means our lead program is going to overflow with customers that are going online. And you automatically get that, especially if you're hitting Success Club 10, you automatically get that commission. If you're not hitting Success Club, you're not going to get any free customers sent to you. Sometimes in a month, I could have hundreds of dollars just from leads, from people that just call into Beachbody and just they buy Insanity or Beachbody on Demand, or they buy Shakeology. Now they're removing beachbody.com. And it means that anybody that purchases something will automatically be assigned a coach, which is really, really, really awesome. I just want to see, where can I see it? Yeah, so it really all depends. And Wendy, that has nothing to do with that's just how people are. It's also how you respond. I have tweaked my lead message plenty of times, and it basically, my first message is hey, I'm Alexis. I'm not a generated robot. I'm a real person. And I give them my Instagram right away so they can check to see that I am. And that's what I say. I say, hey, my name's Alexis. I'm a real person. I'm not just a generated robot. Here's my Instagram. You can go check me out to make sure that I'm a real person. But I have been working Beachbody for over 5 years, and I've gotten hundreds of leads, and probably only maybe 50 of them have ever responded in 5 years. Maybe. That's actually a really high number. So it's not normal for people to respond. People just don't want to do it. It's think about it when you walk into a clothing store and you see the person coming up to you and they want to help you, and you're just leave me alone, leave me alone. I just want to shop in the store. That's how it is. So don't get mad, don't get upset that if they're not responding. It's kind of just how it is. I just text them because they give you I email them first, and then I text them And then if they don't respond, I add them to my email list that I just continually respond to. So, don't even debate texting. You have to, because the open rate for emails now and nowadays compared to 10 years ago is completely like not even there. So I always email them first and then I text them. Sometimes I'll even send a voice message so they really hear my voice, but that's just something you can only do if you have iMessage. Okay. Last announcement is that 80 Day Obsession bonus gift with any monthly subscription, which is just Beachbody On Demand, whether you have the yearly or the quarterly or whatever. They go live October 8th. So if you've done 80 Day Obsession, there's going to be 6 extra workouts. I don't know what the calendar is going to look like. So you can, check that out. Again, I don't know why I don't have the FAQ on here, but if you just go to your back office and go to Coach Breaking News and you'll see it and you can check out the FAQ. But it'll be available. All of you guys have access to Beachbody On Demand. So that's the beauty of it. You automatically get access to that. Okay, so challenge of the week is I want you to aim to get 5 people into our Coach Sneak Peek. It's next week, 5 people. That's not a lot. Whether it's somebody who's crushing it in your challenge group or somebody who you've already reached out to on social media. If you have not reached out to anybody on social media, I want you to send out 10 coach invites from now to today. That's not a lot, guys. That's not even 2 a day. So you could totally do that. Okay, so let's get into the call. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is with the free groups is basically talk about why free groups are important, which a lot of you guys understand, what you can kind of do with a group, and then how you make it. Because I think that's the one thing that a lot of people are wondering. I have this idea for a group, but like, where do I start with making it? Like, I don't know what files to do. I don't know how to make an outline. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of just having that basis. So I'm going to talk about that. And then at the end, for any of you, and I know Jo Marie, because you already had some awesome ideas last time, if you want to share any of the groups that you talked about, we'll kind of leave that up for then. So if anybody has ever run a free group or anything like that, and you want to share at the end, maybe some ideas or different things like that with the team, that would be awesome. Okay. So, and of course, while I'm talking about this, any questions or any ideas, anything like that, please feel free to type in the chat box. Awesome. I knew you would. You're the best. Okay. So why are free groups important? So free groups, and when I'm talking about free groups, I'm not talking about clean eating groups. That's not what we're talking about at all tonight. That's in the coach training. That's easy to do. You've probably already been in one and ran one with your coach. That's gonna benefit you, but not as much as really figuring out what your vibe is with a free group and how you can connect with your people. She's not on the call, but Jennifer was commenting on the post on the team page about how she, for the first time, has run her own free group, and it's like an anxiety support group. And she's like, this has by far been my most favorite group I've run. If you're a new coach, you might not like have that feeling of, because when you've been a part of the business for a while and you've been running groups, sometimes you kind of get bored with groups. You're like, oh my God, this is so boring. So if you're not there yet, you might not understand that feeling, but you will get there. So you want to plan ahead so it doesn't happen. So why free groups are important is because it's a no strings attached way for people to get over their fears or over their money objections, whatever it is. Again, this, we can include some like nutrition or fitness based group, but I'm just kind of steering away from Clean Week. But it's just a way for them to join you as a coach, to see kind of what a group would be like, or what a group with you would be like, or just like kind of what that experience is. Most people have absolutely zero idea what a challenge group is. So when they join, they kind of get that idea, even though, a 7-day meditation group is not necessarily the same as a challenge group, they still kind of get the idea, especially because a lot of people aren't using Facebook. So whether it's clean eating or it's meditation, a water challenge, self-love, people get to see the value that you have to give as well, because obviously putting together a group, which is what we're going to talk about, you're going to be putting effort into it, and they're going to see that. They're going to interact with it. Even if you don't have the best engagement, people see that it's going on. I've had plenty of people who've been in a group, didn't engage with me at all, didn't engage in the group, and then like message me a week later like, oh my God, I loved that group. It was amazing. I'm like, where were you? You didn't even show up. So don't let it discourage you too much when people don't interact. Some people just love being flies on the wall. Okay, so I already talked about that. So when you do free clean eating groups, they're great. Obviously, I run them every month, and I think that it's important for new coaches to be in a group with me and help me run a clean eating group. But when you do those, everybody's getting into clean eating. But when you pick a group and a topic that is like your thing, like Jennifer picked one about anxiety support. She's connecting with other women that she can say something about anxiety and they can be like, I feel that same way. That's what you want to think of when you're creating a free group. You want somebody to be in this group where you guys can all connect. Like imagine, like for me, I have PCOS. So I have a free PCOS group that I just add women to. And like that doesn't have the best engagement ever, but like when somebody asks a question or they're worried about something, so many other women are in there like, oh my gosh, I know exactly how you feel. Oh my gosh, I know exactly how you feel. So that's really the goal. So like if you want to attract people that are like you, like for me, my 7-day meditation group works so well for me. I attract so many people into the group. Like I can easily get like 30, 40, 50 people into that group when for my clean eating groups, I maybe get like 10 or 15. So whether it's like hippie people or baby lovers or making organic food, picky eaters. I know Danny has done groups like that for people who are picky eaters, people who want to be more organized. Those are just ways where you can kind of connect with your people. In terms of the what, so groups can have different topics. And often, more than often, they should be different than clean eating. Now, if you're really specific in the terms of like the way that you eat, like if you're eating for IBS, or you're healing your stomach, or you're paleo, or you're vegan, and you're just kind of doing a different group in that sense. And maybe it's not just you're giving a meal plan, you're kind of just gathering people together that all believe in the same thing. That is kind of falls into this category a little bit more than just your 5-day free clean eating group. So that's something that you can think of. The goal of the group is to connect with people that are similar to you. And then, so you can use the group to either teach something. So maybe you know how to play an instrument and you teach somebody how to do the basics of guitar. I'm just throwing these ideas out there. Or it's a group can be used for simple accountability, a water challenge, a morning routine group, or a book club, which actually is something that I have never done before. And I'm actually thinking about starting where, I don't know if I'm going to do it this year, but maybe starting in January, I'm going to do a group where it's literally a group all year and we just read a book together, and there's no clean eating, there's no Beachbody related things. It's just reading personal development together. And that's an idea that I'm going to try out next year. So it can be something like that. I'm not necessarily teaching anybody anything, and I might get ideas or hear something in my personal development that I might go live about and be like, this really spoke to me. But when you're doing something like that, I'm going to be able to connect with other girls that are interested in personal development. I'm going to know that they're interested in that. And then the goal, obviously, later on is to build that friendship and invite them later on, especially if they're doing amazing things. Like, obviously, you can invite, but it's just creating that group and to get people to see, hey, I'm an awesome person, because you guys are all awesome people. Okay, so the how. So this call really isn't that long because this stuff is really simple. So this last part is just me kind of talking about the how, and then anything that anybody wants to share in the end. So the easiest way, and this is just how I've always built my groups together. Like when I've done a PCOS group, I've done a paleo group. I like just teaching. I do a lot of teaching, I think, because I went to school to be a teacher. So I just like to teach. So the easiest way to figure out what kind of free group you want to hold is to first figure out whether you're going to run it by yourself or you want to run it with another coach. That's how I've always done it. I'm always the person that wants to do things by myself because I'm an absolute control freak. But if you're like, I'm too scared to run a group on my own, maybe if I, and if you're like, because obviously you have to figure out a topic, but I think it's better to figure out, okay, do I want to run it? Because if you want to run it by yourself, then you automatically go to the next step. But if you want to run it with somebody else, then you kind of have to like figure out what exactly you want to do, and then go on the team page and be like, is anybody interested in running a group like this with me? We can brainstorm with each other and like hold a call. So that's first. Then on your own, you want to brainstorm your different interests, topics, things that you're good at, things that people come to you and ask questions about, things that you maybe personally need accountability with. Because again, remember, it's either kind of teaching or it's just an accountability group, or anything that you're interested in. So, like I have this 7-day meditations group, and I teach about meditations, affirmations, and crystals and things like that because that's what I'm interested in. I've also done a shuffle group before where it was like a 3-day group where I went Facebook Live and I like taught how to shuffle and do things like that. So if there's something that you like to do that you feel you can teach, now you want to be careful. Like you don't want to like go in there and be giving people like medical advice or anything like that. And if you're doing anything that's like, anxiety or depression or things like that. Obviously, you want to make a disclaimer that you are not a therapist. You are not any of these things. These are just the things that you are, giving as advice, but it's not medical help if that's kind of the category that you're running into. Like I said, with the teaching thing, it can be something that you're very familiar with or comfortable with teaching. And you might have to spend some time thinking about that. Because I know a lot of people are like, there's nothing I could do. I couldn't think of anything. But you can really sit down and think about the things that you're into. And because there might be something that you always do that you don't even realize you're good at. I think I was talking to Danielle about this before, and she was saying like she's really good at like organizing her closet, like her clothes closet. That might seem so simple, but I can guarantee you if you posted who has the messiest closet and would love to know how to organize it in the best way, people would be like, oh my God, me. You could run a simple like 5-day group that teaches people how to organize their closet or how to be more organized with their finances. I don't know. But there's lots of different things that you can teach. You just have to believe that there's something in there that you can talk about. Or if you're not going to go the teaching route, it can be, like I said, about something about accountability. So think about, I personally like to, and this is the benefit of coaching, is that you get to pick what you talk about. If you don't really need accountability with personal development, you just like crush it all the time, that probably is something you want to teach. But if you really struggle with getting it done, or you struggle with getting up in the morning, or you struggle with drinking water, run an accountability group and talk about how much you need that help, and then find other people that need it, and then, go from there. Then after you figure out what route you're going to go, the accountability or the teaching route, then you want to figure out how long you want the group to be. I recommend no shorter than 3 days, but no longer than 30. Like, because if you're going to do a book club, you're not going to be like, we're reading this book in 5 days, guys. Like, obviously, my mom reads a book a week, but like, she's an absolute psycho. I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people do that, but like, I can't. It takes me like 6 weeks to read like 3 pages. So I just recommend anywhere from 3 to 30 days. I think that 7 days is the sweet spot because, again, remember in a regular challenge group, people tend to die off after like the 3rd or 4th week. So in a free group, when they have not really invested anything into it, they're much more likely to stop interacting after the 1st week. It's just how it is. It has nothing to do with you as long as you're showing up. So I recommend that 7 days is a good day, especially if you're teaching. If you're doing accountability, those are the groups that can be a little bit longer. If you're doing a group that is more like you're teaching, that's like 3, 5, 7 days at most, depending on what you're teaching, like maybe 10 days, but that's kind of a lot. So then once you have your topic, I kind of already talked about this, but this is just going a little bit deeper. So you figure out if you're going to go the teaching route about a topic that you kind of have to figure out, whether you're doing graphics or are you going to share like articles? Are you going to go Facebook Live and talk about the topics? Kind of figure out what route you want to go. For me, I'm always much more of I'd rather go Facebook Live and talk about it versus a post. But then when I go Facebook Live, sometimes they're kind of long. So maybe you want to sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to teach people how to, I don't know, make homemade jelly. I don't know. Let's just say that's what you're going to do. So you can kind of see, okay, what are the steps it takes to make homemade jelly? Can I do it in 5 steps? If it takes 10 steps, can I do 2 steps a day? You kind of have to just like start with something at the top, and then I kind of just like spread it out. Like, okay, what steps does it take to do this? And the teaching ones always take a little bit more longer to plan out and get ready, obviously, because I always do a little research. I watch some YouTube videos, and this is a project. Yes, talking to people and doing, your basics is important to your business. And if you're really crazy busy, I don't recommend taking on a super crazy big project like creating a group like this. Accountability groups you can totally do. It does not take a lot to do those. But if you want to teach something, that's something that you might want to kind of save to the side. But if you want to set yourself apart as a Beachbody coach that doesn't just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, where you're going to go crazy and you're just going to stop attracting people, you need to do things like this. So, and if you're a new coach, I didn't even worry about doing this stuff till like 3 years into the business. So don't stress yourself out. You want to do it, awesome, but don't feel that you need to. Or if you're not sure, reach out to me and I'll tell you, like, yes, I think you could, or whatever. It depends on your topic. So if you want to go the accountability group route, you have to figure out how the days need to be laid out. So let's say you're going to do a book club. For example, I did a book club before of Women, Food, and God. That was all it is. All we did was read the book together. It was an amazing group. I had like 50, 60 girls in there, and it was amazing. And so what I did was I I Googled Women, Food, and God chapter outline. So then I looked at the chapter outline, and there happened to be, I think 30 chapters or something like that. And so what I had them do was I had them read, I think I did either one chapter a day, and I did that for 30 days. And then I tried another group where I was like, read 2 chapters a day. So, because the book's not necessarily that long, so the chapters aren't too long, but you kind of got to figure out what you're comfortable with. If you're the kind of person that takes a little bit longer to read a book, then you probably want to make the group longer. Not everybody's going to read at the same pace, but if you are doing a group together, it's kind of good to at least go at the same pace. So what I did is I just went on Canva, and then I looked at whatever the name of the chapter was, and then I made it like a little graphic. It was like chapter, it was like share your takeaways, something that's super simple, but when they share their takeaways, it creates dialogue. So you don't have to do something where you think about some kind of challenge or post every single day. When you're doing a book group thing like that, or just water accountability, like if you're going to do water, like water could probably get pretty boring. So you can find funny ways that, different ways to share, the water stuff, but you kind of just want to see how long would it take to kind of lay this group out. Okay. So then once you have the way you want to do it, again, whether you're going to do, Facebook Live graphics, if you're going to, read a chapter a day, or you're going to do 2 chapters a day, the way I do it are these 5 steps. So 1, I create an outline for the days. So like I will put, and I move and copy and paste things around. So the way my outline looks in the beginning is way different than it looks at the end, but I'll literally put, okay, let's say we're just going to do a 7-day group. I put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then underneath them, I just kind of take my brainstormed, ideas, and I'm like, okay, welcome video. Maybe I'll add the Sunday before and do like welcome video Sunday night. And then I'll look at Monday and I'll take like one of the first steps. Let's say I'm going to teach something, and then put it in there. And then I kind of look at how it's laid out, and then you kind of edit it as you go. But that's just going to take time and figuring out what exactly your topic is. And of course, at the end of all of this, if you're trying to create a group and you're stuck or you're not sure, you can always reach out to me. You can always post in the team page. So many people have so many great ideas. And when you're kind of stuck in like a writer's block where you're like, I'm not sure what to do, when you get a bunch of ideas into it, you don't have to take everybody's ideas, but you're going to get a ton of amazing, awesome ideas from people that you probably would never even have thought of. So then once you kind of figure it out, you can figure out, do I want AM posts and PM posts? Do I just want 1 post a day? So will put that. So I'll have the Monday through Sunday, and then I'll put AM and PM. So then I spread out a little bit more, again, depending on your topic. So then 2, you want to figure out what files you want to add. When I do my meditation group, or any of my groups, the one thing I always have is a commitment letter. And that basically says, this is what you're agreeing to. This is, don't post anything negative, check into the group every day, make sure you're reading your book, again, something that's tied to the topic. And then I tell them to sign their name electronically, like just comment or whatever. So that's just letting them know, like, I'm expecting you to stay accountable. I want you to be accountable to yourself. And then like with my meditation group, I like shared a list of like some YouTube meditations. I also did like a link to do the first 10 free sessions of Headspace. So you kind of just like whatever your topic is, and I use Google a lot. Don't feel like you have to figure it all out. I literally go to Google and I'll just like type it and then type ideas or something like that. I go to Pinterest and you just get a bunch of different ideas, and then you can figure out, oh, that would go good in there. So I do the outline first, and then I figure out what files I want to share. And then I make sure that if I have like my topics of the day or whatever I'm going to do, I go to Canva. And for me personally, what I always do is I go to the presentation. So there's like the YouTube graphic and Facebook graphic and Instagram graphic. I always do presentation, because when you go to presentation and you click on one of the layouts, it gives you 10 other pages that are like that and look similar in terms of color and font, but they're a little bit different. So it's kind of like you can keep this, because me, I'm like type A. I don't want them to look completely different. I want them to have some fluidity to them. So I do that. So that's what I would recommend for that. So then once I have that and I have my outline, then I make my like Canva graphics. If you want to do that, you don't have to do graphics if you don't want to. Totally up to you. So then if you're going to do teaching, you want to figure out like the step-by-step. Again, that kind of goes hand in hand with figuring out the outline. And then last is just, and this is important, once you kind of have the group all figured out, you don't have to have it completely done. But once you have the most of it done, like have a cover photo, create the group. Like sometimes I create a group and it's like super way in advance. Next thing you want to do, and this is very important, is to figure out how you're going to market for it, because you have to get people in the group. You don't want to do all this work for a group and then not have anybody in it. So you want to figure out what an invite. You kind of create like little scripts for yourself. I know I create scripts for you guys, but literally the only scripts I ever worry about is the invite, the first message, the explanation, and the, hey, you're signed up. You know what I mean? So like for my meditation group, I have an invite. I have, once someone says, yes, I want more information, it's like the first message. Because remember, the first message, whether it's a free group or it's a paid group, should always be not all the information. Tell me more about you. So for my meditation group, instead of asking like, tell me about your health and fitness goals, I say, tell me, your journey with meditations and affirmations. Like, have you done it before? So it's always the invite, and the first message should always be, tell me more about you within this topic. So let's say they're making homemade jelly. Have you ever made homemade jelly before? Just like asking about them. Tell them to, tell a little bit more about you. So invite, first message. Then you want the group explanation, which just says, hey, this is what you can expect. And then I always finish it with, does that sound like something you'd be interested in, or something along those lines? And then the next message is just like, it might be, involved if they have to like get something. Maybe they have to get the book. If you're going to do a book club, you're reminding them that they have to get a book. That might seem super self-explanatory, but I've had groups before where the person's like, I forgot to get the book. Like, oh, this is a book club. So sure. So you have to remind them of that. But then it's just making sure you have a running list of the people that are in the group, because I talk about my group super early. I need to have like a list somewhere on my phone or wherever that has a list of people. So the invites and everything like that. And then you want to make a post for it. So a post that you're going to make on your page, a post that you're going to do on your Instagram story. Maybe you're just going to go live about it. Like, make sure you plan that out so you have all that ready, and then kind of figuring it out from there. If you're running it with another coach, you also need to add the step of who's going to do X, Y, and Z. Are you going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Or are we going to do, I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you're going to do Tuesday, Thursday. So that's something that you kind of want to figure out as well. And then from there, it's just about cleaning up the content, making sure everything is kind of in place, scheduling the posts so you really don't have to do a lot. A lot of this, and the beauty of this, I know it might seem like a lot of work, and it is. I'm not going to lie. Creating groups, it's a lot of work, but I think it's fun. I love using the creativity, and once you have it, save it into Google Drive. Do not save it on your computer. Save it in your Google Drive. Create a folder. I create a folder, and then I name the group, and then in there I make a folder for the graphics, and then I have a post outline, and then I have anything else I need. So then you can continuously run this group every month. So it's one of those things that, yes, you're going to have to invest some time to get it done, but once you have it done, you're going to be able to use that as a resource to bring your people in. I run my 7-day meditations affirmations group. I think I just in April hit my year of running it, and I still run it, and I love it. It's like the same thing for me every single month, but I don't get tired of it because I love the people that I find in there. And then I have, this is the last thing, and then before that, or after that, we can, Jo Marie, you can share any of your ideas, and if anybody has any ideas, they can share. My last thing, and this depends on what kind of group you have and what you want to do with it, because my meditation group is the only group I have for this. None of my other groups have ever really had this, but I have a graduate group. So I have my 7-day meditations and affirmations group, and once they're done, to continue, every time I have 30, 40 people in that group, I add them to a graduate group where I share like crystals, and like I'll do like a random crystal of the day when there's a new moon. Like, I'll post an article in there. It's like all hippy dippy stuff, but it's cool because we just have that vibe going on in there. There's not necessarily a ton of engagement, but again, it's that I'm constantly showing up in their feed and giving them value. Like, they can look back and be like, oh my gosh, I have this really awesome group that I don't even have to pay for. Let's just put me in this group, and there's all these awesome people with good vibes. That's just the goal that you're going for. And then from your free groups, you just have to be okay with inviting to your clean week group. So that's what I do. Any free group I ever have, I invite them, and I sometimes will invite straight to a challenge group too. But I'll have them be in my 7-day meditations group, paleo group about making jelly, whatever. And then I'll send them an invite. And I always start it with, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested in this other group I'm having, since you were in my meditation group, since you were in my jelly making group, whatever. But I figured since you were in that group, maybe you'd like to check this one out. That's exactly how I started. And then I just go into my regular invite. But you can't run these free groups and then not invite these people to your other stuff. Now, not everybody's going to be interested, but honestly, most people are like, of course, oh my God, I love that first group with you. I'd love to try it out. So I usually invite to a free group, and I invite to my whatever my free group is that isn't clean eating related, I invite them to the meditation group first, and then I invite them to the clean eating group, and then I invite them to the challenge group. So I'm like investing in the long haul with them. Like, obviously, I'm inviting people besides that. It's not just like I'm having that process with every single person. But okay, so so Wendy, so in terms of bipolar, when it comes to any kind of mental situations you have going on, because I struggled with depression, I struggled with anxiety, I struggled with eating disorders. You want to be very careful with how you're promoting it. They're great ideas, and I think you could definitely like work with that, because like I said, Jennifer's doing one for like anxiety and whatnot. You always want to make sure, because those groups can tend to get very negative, because a lot of people maybe they're either struggling with depression or they're not fully like in recovery yet. So you want to make sure when like you're doing your commitment letter that you're talking about like, this is a positive space. You can vent if you need to, but it always has to be finished with a positive spin. And if you have somebody that's just too negative in your group, I personally message them and I'm just like, hey, I know that you're in this group and I want to be here to support you, but I want to keep the energy as positive as I can. I know it's not always easy around this topic, but if you're going to share anything in the group, just make sure it has a positive spin, something along those lines. But sharing like, maybe it's just a group where you guys share, it's just a support group, or you share different tips in terms of how you, deal with the bipolar tendencies and things like that. So definitely always a good idea, but make sure that you are making it so it's like, hey, this is a positive space, just so that's kind of what you're doing. All right, Jo Marie, so share with us some, whatever you're doing with free groups right now. I know you kind of shared last time, but what you've done in the past or what you have planned coming up.
Okay. So one thing is like, if you guys gonna plan something free, think about what do you like. As Alexa says, I'm a complete dork, so a lot of my free group is around like the dorkiness of me. What I did was that I planned out throughout the whole year, so you guys can take those free groups and plan it out what holiday or event is coming up, so that way you can plan and also give that added value to it. So let's say for Thanksgiving, this year I want to make it more healthier. So what I've been doing is looking up recipe and everything. So my free group will be like a 5-day, for us to do recipes of, clean eating, cooking healthier for Thanksgiving, Also around that Thanksgiving, around that time, I'm planning to come up with another free group that was around like, okay, basically we picked out, let's not hold it against each other because we made a mistake. Let's pick up the pieces and let's just drive on. There's also December. December is Christmas. So I have a group that I'm planning now to do 7 days of do-it-yourself gift ideas, like, do-it-yourself body butter, lip tint, something like that that can get them excited, as well as I have a kid. So I'm also planning out groups that is just me and Emily. Basically, it's a 21-day group where I'm sharing values and concepts about eating well and exercising with your kids, because you know what? I like to relate to that. Like I said, I'm a dork, so I like it. And also in the month of October, I'm doing a Walking Dead group, which is actually a challenge group, but I'm also kind of doing it like a 5-day for them to see how this group is going to play out, and then be like, listen, you guys had so much fun about The Walking Dead. Let's make it into 30 days and see who's going to survive. Who's going to survive, I got people interested in that. So, pay attention what's going out, what is in the flow of things. One thing I wish I was a little bit more aware of is when the Avengers came out. Infinity War, I knew everybody went crazy. I could have taken advantage and be like, let's do like a movie thing where we all watch all Marvel movies leading up to it. I missed out because I didn't plan it. So if you guys just take a moment, like a weekend, just plan out throughout the whole year, holidays, events that's coming up, movies, TV shows that you can relate to it, to relate to somebody. Like I said, I'm a dork, so I like these things. And I'm enjoying to create these little pieces to help out the person, because I know if they enjoy the free group, I know for a fact if I invite them to a 30-day challenge group, they're gonna be like, you know what, I had so much fun in this group. I want to go into your next group, and I will make my challenge group even more fun. Like exciting, interesting. And I ask also, if you guys don't have any kids or anything, ask around your friends and family who has kids. What can you do to help them out? Like snack ideas for kids. Like I did one for 3 days, snack ideas to take with your kids, let them try it out. Some of the parents enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So it's just like plan it out. It may seem like a lot, but honestly, this is your business, guys. I know I enjoy it. I love it. This is gonna be my long-term goal. So I'm gonna invest it now. Yeah, I'm crazy, single mom, working full time, but you know what? I enjoy it. So it helps me also to relax and forget about the drama because I'm focusing on this, I'm focusing about everything else. But just do that. It's so worth it because I'm so this month just planning everything out and everything fits together. So that way, the next couple of months when holidays are coming up, I'm not so stressed about creating these groups because I took time.
Exactly. And I think the biggest piece of this, and we had a call that a girl on the team did when she kind of similar. She wasn't necessarily talking about free groups. She was talking about like themes and things like that. But I think like you were talking about like Walking Dead and things like that. Like, and that's why I'm so big on, yes, clean eating groups are great. But if somebody just sees a clean eating group on the page, how many other coaches are sharing that? That doesn't mean that you shouldn't, because your people are going to want to join you anyway. But if I were to, like, let's say I'm not necessarily not that I don't like Harry Potter, but let's say I was the biggest Harry Potter fan. If I was scrolling my feed and I just saw somebody post about a clean eating group, and then I saw right underneath it somebody talk about Harry Potter, I'm like, oh my God, what are they posting? I want to know what this is. So like having a theme, whether it's Disney or Harry Potter or something like, and really think about whatever, maybe it's a TV show that you like to watch, and it takes some time. A lot of times I hear from people that I'm not creative enough to think about a group. Post in the team page, and I can guarantee you're going to get people that are going to give you ideas. That's the benefit of being a part of it. Another idea too, and this is for you, Jo Marie, I don't know if you were a part of the team when she shared it, but if you ever do a group that is themed in a certain way, like Disney or Friends or anything like that, what the girl did was, instead of a welcome video, or not even a welcome video, but a welcome post that says like, share your name and where you're from, like the typical, like, how old you are, she did a BuzzFeed quiz that was like, find out what Harry Potter character you are. And then everybody had to do the quiz. And then that was like their welcome. They're like, I got Hermione, I got Harry Potter. You know what I mean? So based off of, like, if you're doing Walking Dead, there might be a BuzzFeed quiz that you can do, and where everybody has to like do the BuzzFeed quiz, and it's like, figure out what character you are. So that's another idea too. Thank you so much, Jo Marie. That was awesome. I love all your ideas. And another thing, I just thought of that too. I did last year, actually did it with the team, but with Thanksgiving too, on top of the clean eating, because people always are trying to find out like how to be, maybe they're not necessarily want to be healthy right on Thanksgiving, but just around that time, like there's apple pie, not just on Thanksgiving, like it's all the time. So those things are important, but doing a gratitude challenge, like Thanksgiving is about being thankful. So doing like 7 days of gratitude, where you have people practice doing a gratitude journey, where they have to wake up in the morning, and before they start their day, they actually write what they're grateful for in like a journal, or they just journal in general or something like that.
That is an awesome idea. I didn't think about that. And before I forget, also, guys, it's football season. So what I've been doing is that I've been posting whenever I watch football, and I'd be tagging even people who on Instagram that I've just been chatting. I'd be tagging them, and I'd be like, oh, I see how your team is. They kind of lost. And this gives them also like comfortability to speak, and they sharing and they tagging me in their posts. And also, like, when I talk to them, I'm going to do a group based on the football theme, they're like, oh, if you do it, I'm in. So it's like you can also do that.
Yeah, and that's what helps build relationships. Because obviously talking to people is great, but doing things like that, and that's something that I'm trying to get back to, because it was something I was doing a lot when I was first building my business, but I haven't been before, is doing exactly what you said. Tagging people in post, maybe not like necessarily in your post, but like make a post and in the comments, like tag people. And that lets them know that person's thinking of me enough to tag me in them, in what they're doing. So does anybody else have anything that they want to share? Questions? Go ahead. I'm going to unmute you. I unmuted you.
Wait, I'm unmuted? Yeah, okay.
You're
good. Yeah, so I am debating on one idea that I had, but I want to do like kind of similar to what you did, Alexis. It was like a meditation group, but I paired it with what did I call it? I called it mornings, meditations, and motivation. And like each day I kind of did like card pulls in the morning and just kind of gave like a tip on how to create a morning routine, because I feel like that's kind of like a staple in all of us as coaches, like our business, you know, just to have like a morning routine every morning. It just works really well. But I have also on the side created a full program that helps you create your own motivation. And a couple people have told me, like, don't do it for free, like just, you know, keep charging for it, because it's supposed to be like an upsell program for my sales funnel. But I'm wondering if I should just utilize it in a free group. Like, I feel like everyone I talk to says I just can't seem to find the motivation. So like, why wouldn't I do like a free group about it and help them get to that point? And then afterwards they'd be like, oh, okay, well now I know how to do this. Like, yeah, I'll join your challenge group. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I use it for both, but I don't, like, I have an ebook that's like the 6 steps to break free from emotional eating that I learned through Sarah's thing about using it as, you know, like a, you know, freemium or whatever. But I never really gained a ton of traction with it. Not that I can say I did everything I could with it, but for me, I've gotten more people, way more people, by offering it free. I have it like in the link in my bio. I mean, not everybody goes there, so I could hold a group where, you know, it's with that. And the cool thing is about this business with anything is that you can just use it like free for a little bit and see how it works. And if it really doesn't do much for you and you'd rather charge for it, then go back to charging. You know what I mean? Like, you have that flexibility to see if it's going to attract more people in there and you use it, you know, in a free way and get people to, you know, do it, like use it to run a group or whatever, and that benefits you more. Cause it's the whole idea of jab, 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 right hook. It's give, and then, you know, ask for something. So I would say just go for it, using it as like a resource and a tool. I also have a paleo, a vegan, and a regular, it's actually in our clean eating group, an ebook that took me forever to put together that I could totally charge for, but I don't charge people for it. I actually don't think I could do that because technically I'm not a nutritionist, but in that sense. So yeah, I mean, I would say totally go for it, because you can try it. And if you don't like it, or you're like, I should be charging for this, then you could just go back to doing it.
So do you think it'd be kind of a cool way to market it by saying like, I'm opening up, not, what's the word? It's not like I forget what they call it, but like they're opening enrollment for my motivation program one time every month. You can basically do it for free. After this point, then it's like X amount of dollars unless you become VIP or whatever, because I included in my VIP membership.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great idea too. I think anything that like gets people in the door is the key. So I think that's a great idea. I think if you feel like you should do it, I would just say go for it. There's so many things that I've tried in this business that have worked and then haven't worked, but I've just tried a million things versus like only trying a few because I wasn't sure, you know what I mean? So I would just say go for it. I think it's a really good idea.
Cool.
Well, the budgeting thing. So it's funny. I actually did a call, if anybody wants to watch it, not that long ago, if you know the Files Tab of the team page, I did a call about spending money and how to attract more money and things like that. I spent most of my life like being terrible at money, but now I've been like budgeting, and I'm not obviously like the best person at it, but it's funny that you say that, really funny that you say that, because I have a post planned. The other day I did a poll and I asked people 3 questions. I said, how much do you spend, or how many times a week do you go out to eat a week? Do you do more than 2 or less than 2? And I said, how much do you spend, more than 15 or less than 15? And then when you go out to eat, do you spend more than 40 or less than 40? And the answers were like crazy. And most people said they go out at least 2 times for more than $15. So I did the math for the people that said that. And I had over 100 people that commented on that, so I could literally message all of them. And I said, and then this is something I could do. I would be more than happy to do a budgeting thing, but I don't know if I'd be the best at doing that. But we could always find somebody that could do that. Or you could just have a group where you have accountability of, let's not spend money, let's save money together. You might not be talking about the budgeting. I mean, you could easily go online and Google top 10 tips to how to budget, better, and then watch a video on it. I've done groups like that where I haven't really known too much about the topic and just did my own research and figured it out. But so I did the math, and it says if someone eats out 2 times a week, just 2 times a week at $15 a piece, which is super easy. You just buy like a salad for yourself, $15. That's $30 times four times in a month. That's $120. It's almost the same price as Shakeology. And people are going to tell me that they don't have money for Shakeology. So that's just a post that I have coming. But Shakeology feeds you 30 times. The above feeds you 4 times in a month. So you do the math. But it's funny that you have that, because I was kind of doing that math when I figured that out. But I do have a call on the team page that kind of talks about that. Yeah, Dave Ramsey is like huge on the marketing thing. But like, if you're not that good at budgeting, but you want to get better at, like, because most people, and I know a lot of coaches tell me that they don't have money to afford Shakeology and whatnot, but like, they're definitely spending money on like a bunch of other things, which is fine. Obviously, everybody's allowed to spend their money on their own thing. But you can have a group where you guys just save money, where you put away $5, a day or something like that. Or you have accountability of, it's the weekend, but I want to make sure that I don't go out to eat, or I want to make sure I could freaking use a group like that, where like, I'm not going to spend money on drinks or something like that. Like, again, you'd have to brainstorm, but just an idea. Anybody else have any questions, concerns, anything? No? Awesome. Okay, well, thank you guys. Hopefully that's helpful. Like I said, if you want to run a free group, Christmas savings, that's another thing that actually, oh my gosh, I think it's on my time hop today. Let me point this out, because this is the time that you want to post it, no later. Hold on. For people who you want to get to join your team. Now, this isn't free coach necessarily. Where is it? I know it's in here. I just saw it. How much is it? I know there's an exact number. Maybe I don't have it. But it's a post that's like, you're basically doing the math of selling 5 challenge packs a month from now until Christmas, and how much spending money people would be able to have. I mean, you'd probably have even more, but figuring that out and letting people know, like, if you want to have extra spending money, you can either go through interviews and do this and do that, and go work and get another job, or you can do Beachbody and just work to make that money right away. So yeah. But if you guys have any questions about running free groups, or you want to run a group and you're like, this is my idea, I'm not creative, I just need help with it, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you. Post on the team page. There's going to be plenty of ideas that are given to you. Yeah. So have a good night, guys. Peace out.